Research supervisors are generally accomplished academics. The role of research supervisors is to guide and support research students on the path of learning research and producing quality research. As a result, most research supervisors are expected to ensure the quality of research and to play the role of gatekeepers. However, there are exceptions to this general rule and these general expectations, and so there are research supervisors that we can term as bad research supervisors, or supervisors who do not provide adequate research supervision to their research students. So what are the characteristics of such supervisors or such bad research supervisors? So here are certain characteristics that can make a research supervisor an undesirable or a bad research supervisor. We can categorize these characteristics into three categories: the personal characteristics, the academic characteristics, and the professional characteristics. On a personal level, there are certain things that can make a research supervisor a bad research supervisor. The first one is lack of empathy. Empathy is actually the quality of the research supervisor that enables him or her to understand the particular situation, especially the position of vulnerability of the research student. And so they can understand the lack of experience or the lack of knowledge of their students, and so they can provide assistance in order to help such students. But lack of empathy can play a negative role in terms of providing adequate supervision. The second is apathy or irresponsibility. In many cases, research supervisors can be apathetic to the needs and requirements of the research students, and so we can also say that they are not very responsible, and so this is again a characteristic of bad supervision. Lack of discipline is on the part of certain supervisors that ultimately leads to a negligence of their supervisory roles and duties. Lack of humility, or in other words, arrogance, on the part of the supervisor is another characteristic that makes for the characteristic of a bad supervisor. Then there are supervisors who have personal biases in terms of biases towards or against certain research areas or topics, or certain research methodologies, certain research approaches, and that those personal biases can lead to rigidity on the part of the supervisors, or lack of flexibility in terms of accepting alternative views related to methodological choices or topic choices. And this can also lead to a lack of sense of justice in terms of playing their role, in terms of providing assistance, in terms of listening to the justified positions of the research students. And lastly, in some cases, research supervisors can also have certain physical or mental issues that can impact their role as supervisors. So because of their personal, mental, or physical issues, there could be impact on their role as a supervisor. So these are some of the personal issues or characteristics that can lead to bad supervision. Then academic, in some cases, especially junior researchers, junior supervisors can have lack of knowledge, general knowledge related to their area. In other cases, lack or loss of academic interest. This generally can happen with senior academics who with the passage of time, they lose interest in their role as research enthusiasts, and so their interests shift maybe to other things such as to administrative issues and things like that. So lack or loss of academic interest could also result in bad supervision. Then loss of academic drive or excellence. In many cases, supervisors with the passage of time, with some experience with maybe exhaustion, physical or mental exhaustion, they can lose drive for excellence. In some cases, they become the process of research supervision becomes a kind of routine for them, and so they are more interested. They become more interested in getting the students through the process of research, the general process of research, and kind of enabling them to get degrees rather than focusing on excellence in their academic and research field. And lastly, lack of specialized knowledge regarding certain research topics that are the topics of interest for research students. So these are some of academic issues that can result in bad supervision. And the last category, the professional characteristics that can lead to bad supervision include lack of professional supervisory skills or experience. This generally happens when the supervisors are like beginning supervisors or junior faculty members who start the process of supervision. So lack of professional supervisory skills and experience is something that can hamper the process of proper supervision. This can happen mostly in institutions where there is no formal process of induction or professional training for research supervisors. Then lack of awareness regarding professional supervisory roles. Again, generally junior supervisors who lack experience and who have any exposure to professional development as supervisors can have this kind of an issue where they lack awareness regarding what is their professional role as supervisors and what are expectations from them. So this can be an issue. This can become a bad characteristic as a research supervisor. Then excess of professional or administrative responsibilities. With the passage of time, especially with senior faculty members, senior professors, they can get involved in many professional and administrative responsibilities, and so it becomes difficult for them to manage their time to do justice to their role as supervisors of the individual research students. So this can result in bad supervision. This can result in negligence of their supervisory roles and responsibilities. Then professional expediency or rivalry. In some cases, there are instances where supervisors are more interested in numbers in terms of producing research students, or in terms of making sure that their research students get degrees, and that can lead to compromise on quality, that can lead them to actually neglect to have a detailed look on the research projects, the data collection analysis processes, the overall quality of the research thesis. So without ensuring that they can actually get involved in expediency and so kind of number games. And lastly, lack of knowledge of the general psychology, the human psychology is very important in order to understand the psychological needs, the emotional needs, the personal needs of the research students. So a general lack of the psychological awareness, the psychological needs regarding the understanding of the personality of the research students is something that can lead to bad supervision. So these are important personal, academic, and professional issues that can actually lead to bad supervision on the part of the supervisor. So in order to make sure that good supervision takes place, that the supervisor's role is effective and constructive, there is need for institutional support in terms of developing the personal, academic, and professional skills and characteristics of research supervisors to make the process of research supervision effective and productive.